Now, let's start with the ratings, because numbers never lie. The season kicked off with what some people considered a strong start, especially given the fact that Melody Cherie, who many still believe was the glue holding the show together, is no longer there in the same capacity she once was. The first episode of the season pulled in around 219,000 viewers, which was labeled the season high. That might sound impressive at first, but when you compare it to past seasons, where the show was pulling in way higher numbers, you start to see that this high is really still a dip. And then it went down to 197,000 on the second episode, which became the season low. After that, the third episode climbed back up to 200,000. The fourth jumped to 245,000, and then the fifth episode hit 248,000, setting another new season high. Now, those numbers look like a roller coaster. And that's what makes fans wonder, are the producers pushing the cast to create drama just to keep the ratings from sliding back down again? Because, let's be honest, Love and Marriage Huntsville has always thrived on drama. But lately, the drama feels less like natural conflicts and more like carefully placed storylines. And that brings us to people like Letitia Scott and Marcia Scott. For years, fans have speculated about Marcia's alleged infidelity, with the infamous booty picture text being one of the most talked about moments in the show's history. A woman allegedly sent Marcia a picture, and he responded with the words, "Midday's work surprise." Now, if that isn't suspicious, I don't know what is. But what's more interesting is Letitia's response. She continues to stand by him, dismiss rumors, and paint herself as someone who hasn't dealt with infidelity in her marriage yet. Fans aren't buying it. Many feel that Letitia is deflecting and playing the role of a loyal wife for cameras, when deep down she knows the rumors carry more truth than she wants to admit. And then there's Maura Scott and Kimmy Scott. Now, Kimmy is often seen as the peacemaker, always inserting herself into conversations and trying to calm situations down. But fans are beginning to question why she doesn't hold her own husband accountable with the same energy. We've seen her jump into conflicts with other cast members. But when it comes to Maurice's alleged behavior, including the whispers about non-disclosure agreements and other rumors swirling around Huntsville, Kimmy suddenly gets quiet. Is that just her personality, or is it another example of selective transparency for the sake of the storyline? Even Jalen, Kimmy's son, has suggested that Maurice was a little too hostile toward him at times. Yet on the show, that tension often gets swept under the rug. It's almost as if certain things are off limits. And if that's the case, then how can fans believe we're getting the full picture? And speaking of transparency, Nell has been brought into the mix. And she's already finding herself clashing with the Scotts. During one of the more recent episodes, Nell opened up about her own marital struggles, admitting that she and her husband Chris had separated in the past due to infidelity. But instead of that moment leading to honest conversations, it quickly turned into a game of deflection. Letitia immediately threw it back in Nell's face, hinting at rumors about Chris Fletcher floating around in the Huntsville streets. Fans instantly recognized this as the same tactic Letitia and Marcia have used for years, deflecting by bringing up someone else's marriage to avoid discussing their own. It's a cycle that keeps repeating, and at this point, viewers are asking how real can this be if the cast is constantly dodging the truth and pointing fingers instead? And then we have Martell Holt. Martell has been at the center of the show's biggest scandals, from his divorce from Melody Cherie to his ongoing reputation for being manipulative, messy, and unable to let go of control. Even without Melody actively in the spotlight this season, Martell's shadow still looms over the storylines. His name gets brought up in conversations, his past behavior is still being referenced, and the way cast members respond to his history with Melody shows that the show is still milking that marriage fallout for views. Some fans feel like Martell knows exactly how to stir the pot for camera time, while others feel like the producers intentionally keep him connected to the drama because they know his presence boosts ratings. Either way, it begs the question, Are we really watching Martel live his truth? Or is he simply playing into the villain role producers want him to play? The idea that things might be manufactured becomes even more believable when you look at how the show handles conflict resolution. Time and time again, cast members will drop a huge bombshell. Whether it's about cheating rumors, family drama, or business feuds, then the storyline just disappears. There's rarely a proper follow-up, and it's almost as if the producers just want to throw chaos at the screen without tying up loose ends. For example, Kimmy once revealed that even during her battle with cancer, she still felt pressured to be intimate with Maurice. That shocking statement should have been a major storyline that sparked real conversation about marriage, illness, and boundaries. But instead, it was brushed aside and never properly revisited. That type of unfinished storytelling is what makes fans feel like everything is set up just enough to shock, but not enough to expose the full truth. And when you add in the little production tricks, like extending the episodes past 9 o'clock so the ratings catch some of the spillover from other shows, or including streaming numbers in a way that boosts the totals, it only fuels the theory that this is more about survival than authenticity. Viewers are no fools. They know when they're being played, and many are openly admitting that they now only tune into reviews instead of the actual show. That's a huge shift, because it shows that the audience doesn't fully trust what they're watching anymore. Still, there are moments where the realness slips through, and that's what keeps people hanging on. When Letitia storms out of a scene, when Marcia tries to laugh off the cheating allegations, when Morris gets defensive about his role as a father, or when Nell gets emotional about her marriage, those are the raw moments that fans crave. The problem is, those moments are now surrounded by so much fluff and deflection that viewers are left questioning what's genuine and what's staged. So here's the bottom line. Love and Marriage Huntsville is at a crossroads. The ratings prove that people are still curious. But the constant up and down suggests that viewers are losing patience with the recycled storylines. Cast members like Letitia Scott, Marseille Scott, Morris Scott, Kimmy Scott, Nell, and even Martel Holt are being called out for not being transparent, for dodging the hard questions, and for faking the drama just enough to keep cameras rolling. And while that might work in the short term, in the long run, it risks the very thing that made the show a success in the first place: authenticity. Now, let's dig a little deeper into why this is such a big deal. For years, viewers have seen Marcia portray himself as the strong, witty, business-minded leader of his household. But these repeated moments of embarrassment toward Letitia have fans asking if it's really about love and partnership, or if it's about control and ego. When your partner constantly feels dismissed in public, it's no longer a joke, it's a reflection of how you truly see them behind closed doors. And that's where the concern comes in. On the flip side, Letitia has often defended Marcia. Even when fans felt she shouldn't, she has stood beside him through rumors, speculation, and countless internet debates. But loyalty shouldn't mean silence. Many people feel like Letitia deserves the chance to stand up and say enough is enough. Because if you never set boundaries, those same behaviors will just keep repeating, and at some point, love starts to look like humiliation. And here's the part that really stings for viewers. Marcia doesn't seem to realize how much these little digs can hurt his wife's image, as well as their family brand. When you're on national television, every word, every laugh, every slight, whether intentional or not, becomes a topic of conversation. Fans notice it, blogs post about it, and suddenly it's not just a private matter anymore. It becomes public perception. And if Marcia keeps making these comments, that perception may never shift back in his favor. But maybe, just maybe, this is the push Letitia needs. Sometimes when someone keeps showing you who they are, you're forced to decide what you're going to do about it. Will she continue brushing it off? Or will she finally demand the respect she deserves, not just as Marcia's wife, but as her own woman? That's the real question hanging in the air right now, and fans are waiting to see how Letitia moves forward. So what do you think? Are the cast members truly faking it for ratings? Or are they just messy in real life and unwilling to expose the whole truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is one conversation that isn't slowing down anytime soon. And make sure you stay with me until the very end of every breakdown because the layers of this show just keep unfolding. If you think this episode was dramatic, wait until we see how the rest of the season plays out. Trust me, you're going to want to watch this all the way through because the tea is only getting hotter, only getting hotter.